Yo, what is up guys? Rob here with another WoW video, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 arena Ret Paladin tips that can help you improve your gameplay. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like, share this video with friends who are also Ret Paladins, and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll try to get back to you. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Peace out. Alright guys, so tip number 1 is no clicking, no keyboard turning, and you must use macros. Okay, so let's talk about clicking. If you're still playing World of Warcraft 16 years later, clicking like this, clicking your abilities right here, you are not playing the most optimal and efficient way possible. And if you're doing this in arena, you are going to get slaughtered, and I mean slaughtered, by players that do not click. So you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage here when you're clicking. You might think, oh, it's not that big of a deal if I'm clicking or whatever, but just imagine this target was a real player and he is running around me. If I'm clicking my abilities and he runs past me like this, he's not in front of me anymore. That means I can't hit him. He's not in front of me. I'm facing the wrong way. So what I'm gonna have to do right now is keyboard turn and then use my abilities. This is like the slowest way possible you can try to play a melee class in arena. By clicking and keyboard turning, you're putting yourself at a serious disadvantage and expect to get destroyed in arena by people who do not click and do not use keyboard turning, WASD to keyboard turn. The way you should be playing arena as a melee class is by holding down the 2 mouse keys, and you should be moving like this. You hold down the 2 mouse keys and you're able to move forward, and then you can easily move your mouse left or right or around, wherever the target is, to keep the target in front of you. And then you can use your other hand to use your abilities. So it should look something like this. See how I'm moving around? The target's always in front of me no matter what I'm doing. I'm not wasting any time keyboard turning or clicking. The target is always in front of me and I always have my eyes on the target. The target is always in front of me. I know exactly where he is at all times, and I'm just playing a melee class in World of Warcraft as efficient as possible. If I was trying to do that with clicking and keyboard turning, look how many abilities I can't get off right now. It's so much slower. If he runs past me, target needs to be in front of me. That already wastes like 1 global cooldown. So if you're clicking and keyboard turning, over time you're missing out on a lot of global cooldowns, and that's going to put you at a severe disadvantage, and you won't do as much healing or as much damage as you should in arena. So no clicking and no keyboard turning. Use your mouse and use keybinds. Okay, so the second part of this arena tip is using macros. So some important macros as a Ret Paladin, or just every class in general for melee, is target arena macros. So on your UI, which we're going to be talking about next, you're going to have, depending on if you're doing 2v2 or 3v3, you're going to have 2 or 3 arena frames on the side of your screen. So what I like to do is have a target arena macro. So I have target arena 1, target arena 2, target arena 3 as control 1, control 2, and control 3. So I'm able to target anyone in the arena as fast as possible. So for example, if I'm trying to switch targets, my teammate says, oh, switch to the warrior, switch to the warrior. I know exactly what frame, arena frame the warrior is, and I'm able to switch to that target almost immediately, as fast as possible. Whereas if I was just clicking the arena frame and then going to the warrior, or tab targeting, you know, sometimes you tab target and it tab targets the wrong way. So I might get these 2 or might get these guys behind us. So tab targeting is not too good. You want to have target arena 1, target arena 2, and target arena 3. And then some other important macros to have as a Ret Paladin and as every class is arena focus macros. So right here, I have Focus Arena 1, Focus Arena 2, and Focus Arena 3. I have them keybinded to Alt 1, Alt 2, and Alt 3. So I'm able to change my focus, which is this guy right here. He is my focus right now. You can get rid of him by clearing it. And when I'm in an arena match and I see who my focus is, I'm able to switch to Arena 1, 2, 3 as fast as possible, just pressing those buttons. This is important because when you're doing CC, for example, let's say I'm on this guy, and this guy is the healer right here. I set him as my focus by pressing Arena 1, 2, 3, depending on what frame he is. And my teammate calls out a CC on the healer. All I have to do is use my Hammer of Justice focus macro, and it will Hajj the healer while I'm still focusing this guy right here. While this guy is still my primary target, my focus target right here was Hajjed. So that's why it's super important to have these macros, because it will improve your gameplay tremendously. You'll be able to switch more efficiently and act faster than your opponents in the arena. Alright, tip number 2 is having a good UI. So as you can see here, I have the standard World of Warcraft UI for the most part. You can get add-ons to change your bar abilities and your bar placement if you want, but I don't use any of that stuff. The first thing I do is I unlock my frame over here. This frame is usually in the top left corner of the screen. I put it down over here because I like to look at the center of my screen to see my health instead of always looking up here. So I change that immediately. I do the same thing with my primary target. I move it from here to down here. Same thing with my focus. I move it from down here to over here. And if you don't know how to get a focus, like I explained in the last video, you can use the arena macros like I said, or you can type /focus to on your target to make that your focus. Or you can just have a focus macro, which I have right here. This is my focus macro. It's just /focus, Shift D, so I can switch my focus like this to whoever I want. Switch it to this guy, stuff like that. But when you're in arena, you want to use Arena 1, Arena 2, Arena 3. This focus macro is more for the outside world, outside of arena. So yeah, I have Gladius X and S Arena here. These are the arena frames, Arena 1, 2, 3. You just download these add-ons. I explained it in my last video, describing the best add-ons you want to have for arena. So I have S Arena, which is this stuff right here, and then I have Gladius X, which is the cooldowns. So I have the cooldowns over here for each person that I'm fighting in the arena. So for example, I'm fighting a mage right now. I know that the mage is Frost, Trinket's on cooldown, Racial's on cooldown, trying to cast a polymorph, I'm DR'd on polymorph, and these are the cooldowns that the mage has left. So this is really important for your UI. And also I have Omnibar, like I explained in my last video. Every time a rogue or any class that has a kick ability, anytime they use it, the kick ability pops up right here with the cooldown, so I know that they use their kick. So you want to make your UI as clean as possible. This is more of a personal preference for you. I like to have it like this because mainly I am focusing on this part of my screen, anywhere from here to here. This is where I'm most focused. And obviously looking at my bars from time to time, but I kind of know my cooldowns for everything. It's pretty simple. I've been playing Ret Paladin for a long time, so I know all my cooldowns and my rotation without really having to look at my action bars. Also, I use raid frames when I'm in arena. So let me just show you what that is. Just ignore that. So raid frames. This is not a raid frame currently, but when you're in a group, you can have raid frames set, and you can move your raid frames over here. I move them to the center of my screen right here, so I'm able to see my health bar instead of looking over here. I can see my health bar, my teammates' health bar, my other teammates' health bar, and all their cooldowns that they're using with this add-on called Omni CD. So I can't do that right now since I'm not in a group, but this bar would basically be in the center of my screen, so I know exactly what's going on at all times. So that's tip number 2. Have a clean UI that helps you in Arena. Okay, so tip number 3 is know your matchup and what talents to use against that matchup. So if you watch my how to play a Ret Paladin PvP video, then you know that this is the build that I like, and there are very few changes to this build. So Aura of Reckoning, Lawbringer, Blessing of Sanctuary, if you're fighting a comp that has a lot of stun CC and fear CC. So for example, Warlocks, Paladins, Warriors, Priest, whatever, I like to have this so I can get my healer or DPS out of stuns, silence, fears, and horror effects. So this is super important here. Sometimes I swap this out if I'm not fighting comps that have a lot of CC. So if I'm swapping that out, I'll swap it out for Freedom, depending on the composition. If I'm fighting like a monk that constantly snares me, a Windwalker monk that constantly snares me, or a mage that is constantly freezing me, I like to have this for me and my warrior in 3v3. So we both have freedom and we both run 30% faster. So you just got to play around with these talents and understand what comp you're facing and what talents to use. And then we have just the talent section over here, the non-PvP talents. I like to use Zeal because that makes you swing 30% faster, which is one of your highest damage dealing abilities. Is just like auto swing. It's like your top 5 abilities. Blade of Wrath, Fist of Justice. This is really good. Sometimes I use Blinding Light, like if we're doing 2v2 and my healer has trouble against double DPS, I'll go Blinding Light to try to blind both teammates so my healer can stabilize. So yeah, I use that once in a while, and I really don't use this in 3v3 ever. I usually just stick with Fist of Justice. And then this one is where you're going to switch the most. So if you're fighting double melee DPS, I like to have Eye for an Eye. If you're fighting casters, I like to use Unbreakable Spirit to have Shield of Vengeance. And also Cavalier, because now you have 2 charges of Divine Steed, which is super important if you're lacking mobility in that matchup. So if you're fighting a matchup that is hard to get move around in, you can get Cavalier. If you're trying to stay alive against casters, Unbreakable Spirit. If you're trying to stay alive against double melee DPS, use Eye for an Eye. So this one switches depending on the composition. And then we always use Seraphim. I always use Seraphim instead of these. And then Healing Hands is a must because you're going to be off healing a lot as a Ret Paladin because your heals do insane amount of healing. Word of Glory is super OP right now. And then I use Sanctified Wrath because it's a passive ability. Right now you don't want to waste too many globals because people die in a global now in this expansion so far. And I just think it does more damage than Final Reckoning over time. It's more sustained damage, so that's why I use that. So yeah, know your matchup, know the talents that you want to use against that matchup, and adapt your playstyle to the matchup you're fighting with your talents. That's tip number 3. Okay, tip number 4 is using your UI to be more aware in Arena. So as you can see here, my primary target is this guy. I see that he has Judgment on him, so I know it's a good time to use my Templar's Verdict because I do more damage when he has Judgment on him. And you can see other attacks that are on him and other debuffs and cooldowns that are being used on your enemy target. Same thing with your focus. You can see what's going on here. So this guy is my focus right now. Let's say it's the healer in the arena. I'm attacking this guy and I use my Hammer of Justice. So now I can see my target has Hammer of Justice for another 2 seconds before it wears off. So I see the debuffs here. And then also using Arena 1, 2, 3 and Gladius X and S Arena to be more aware in the arena. You want to use your UI to be more aware in arena because that essentially awareness increases your likelihood of winning games. If you're just going in an arena match, blowing all your cooldowns without knowing what cooldowns the enemy team has up or has down, then you're most likely not going to win. You're just using the same strategy all the time and it's not going to work once you get to a high enough level in arena. So I like to use Gladius X and S Arena to tell me what they're doing. Like for instance, this guy's casting a polymorph. Okay, he's casting a polymorph. Let me try to line of sight it. Or tell my healer to line of sight it. He has his Medallion of the Alliance up, his trinket up. So we got to try to get that trinket on cooldown before we use our burst attack. He has his racial ability up still. We should try to get rid of that before we burst him. He still has Ice Block up. Same thing. We should try to get him to use all his defensive abilities before we pop our offensive abilities. But however, sometimes you have to pop your offensive abilities to get their defensive abilities down. So it's all about timing. You want to line up your damage and their defensive cooldowns, so then your offensive cooldowns come back quicker, and they still have their defensive cooldowns on cooldown, and then you're able to use your offensive cooldowns and attack them and win. So it's super important to look at your user interface over here, Gladius X, S Arena, whatever you have, to try to help you understand what cooldowns the enemy team has left, when they're using their cooldowns. If they're using their cooldowns, maybe it's a good idea to try to line of sight. So for example, a fire mage using Combust, you want to try to run away from the mage, try to LOS it using a pillar or something like that, so he doesn't waste his he wastes his cooldowns and you don't have to use any of your defensive abilities. Same thing with a Ret Paladin. As soon as I see a Ret Paladin use wings, I like to just run away, Hand of Hindrance to slow them, Kite with Divine Steed, and just run away. And then when his wings are down, I still have my wings, and we can try to set up a kill on the healer or the Ret Paladin, depending on the composition. So you just got to use your user interface to be more aware in the arena, and you'll have a lot more success in arena. Alright, tip number 5, knowing when to spend your holy power. Should you spend it offensively or defensively? Well, like I said again, it depends on how aware you are in the arena match. Use your add-ons over here to understand what's going on. The enemy team just blew all their cooldowns. Is it smart for me to apply counter pressure in this moment by spending my holy power, or should I spend my holy power to try to heal my teammates so it's easier for my my healer to keep us all up? That really just depends on what is going on in the arena match at that particular moment. For me, I like to just weather the storm by LOSing mages or range casters and stuff like that, and using my holy power to stabilize our team's health. You can apply counter pressure if you want. You see them blowing all their cooldowns, maybe you want to blow all your cooldowns and spend your holy power to apply counter damage, counter pressure. It's all up to you. All you have to do is play smart, understand what cooldowns they're using, why they're using it, and decide, should I play defensively with my holy power or should I play offensively with my holy power. I like to play more defensively by line of sighting, by using my holy power to heal my healer, heal my teammates, and stuff like that. I'd rather just save my cooldowns if I can, and then use my holy power to heal my teammates. Sometimes that's not an option. Sometimes I have to just use my cooldowns to apply counter pressure. Sometimes the only way you can get someone off you is by literally taking their health from 100% to 20% using your cooldowns, and then maybe they get scared and back off. It all depends on the composition you're fighting and the classes you're fighting as well. So that's tip number 5. Know when to spend your holy power to play defensively or offensively. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed these 5 arena tips for Ret Paladins to improve your gameplay. If you found this video helpful, like I said before, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It means a lot to me. Leave a like if you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll try to answer them. And share this video with your friends who are Ret Paladins. Maybe they can learn a thing or two from this video. Thanks again for watching. Peace out.